Welcome to Doug Does Stuff. I'm Doug, and this is my intro to my intro about installing this thing, the Sprite Pro Extruder on my Ender 3 V2 Neo. Listen, this is a long video, but if nothing else, watch at least this first intro. I'm going to talk about a few quick things and go from there. But yeah, this is a long video because it's the raw footage of me installing this over several hours and over a couple days trying to get it installed and working. This here is not a plug and play part, at least for the Ender 3 V2 Neo. It is not plug and play. And I'm going to go out on a limb and say it's probably not plug and play on other Enders as well. Not plug and play on here, at least because you have to do things like print a special bracket for the carriage and the X stop switch. You have to, over here, put in new firmware. I started, I wouldn't even bother with the Creality. Don't even bother with it. I went with the Mrisco C firmware, but even that doesn't plug and play. I actually had to compile my own firmware version of Mrisco C for this to work. And as you can see, it's working and it's doing well. There are other factors about this that you need to know. So things like how it trams the bed if you're using Mrisco, how it levels the bed if you're using a CR Touch. So look at the video, watch the video. It'd be great if you watched the whole thing, but I understand it's over an hour, so skip around, look at chapters. There is a chapter on what you need to know about this, and so at least, watch that. I would say don't buy it until you watch it. Don't open the box until you watch it in case you don't want to get that depth into it. Yeah, so, you can see that this is printing fairly well. Let me get in close here. This is a 12-hour print, and we're at 86%, but, we're just doing the top layers now. But you can see, this is printing very nicely. We have a couple little blobs and stuff around. But otherwise, this thing has really been printing well. I've been printing parts to my multi-board. So yeah, I would say I think this is a great addition, but you just need to know what you're getting into. So check out the video, throw me a like, throw me a subscribe, and get going on it. Why are you still watching? Welcome to Doug Does Stuff. I'm Doug, and today we're doing the Ender 3 V2 Neo rebuild. This thing has given me plenty of problems over the last couple months while I've been trying to print my multi-board wall. If you've been watching, it's over there to your left. Watch the other video, like, subscribe, leave a comment, all that good stuff. We're going to upgrade this with the new motherboard, a 427 motherboard, and the Sprite Pro Extruder. Why? Well, because frankly, it hurt me and it's been printing awesome lately. This ghosty came out great, as did a few other pieces to the puzzle, because when you go to install the Sprite Pro Extruder, you need some additional pieces to make this work with the new Sprite Pro. So I printed all those, and oh, phenomenal. Looks great. I just don't trust it. So here's a video or two of how it's been printing. Support's just popping off. Well, before I started the upgrade, I needed to print some parts for the Sprite Pro because the Ender 3 V2 Neo, this little bumper stop cover over there, doesn't let the Sprite Pro work, so you have to print a modified one. So I was doing that, and when I was doing it, I was like, wow, this thing's printing surprisingly well. Layer lines look good, no squish at the bottom, no elephant's foot, no stringing. And I was like, what is going on? This thing must have heard me talking about wanting to upgrade it. So, short story, I'm still going to do it. I bought the parts. Why not? But in the meantime, before I got there, I've been printing some ghosties, and they've all been coming off. So these two just finished, and this is a slow process. These two I think took 9 hours, but they just it is printing so well that, I mean, that's great. Now my Z seam sticks out. I don't know if you can see that. And then there's a little bit of circles on top, but these prints are so beautiful. And look, it's so accurate that the supports are just like, same thing. They're just coming off. And these are stuck pretty good. So yeah, I don't know what to do. I'm kind of lost. This thing that has heated me, and I've heated it since I bought it, despite doing the dual Z upgrade and the direct extruder, right? It was giving me problem after problem after problem. And now it's not. But we're going to do it anyway. We're going to take down this machine that is currently working the best it's ever worked, and we're going to upgrade it. All right, here we go. First thing we're going to want to do is take off this bed. I'm just going to say it again. These clips here are awesome bed clips for the glass, right? They just kind of slip on there. They don't get in the way if you got to print something really, really big. They're really nice. This ComGrow bed was phenomenal when I first got it, but then it stopped adhering, and I've had to use this stuff called Magigoo, which has been magical. Couldn't find it. I was going to show it to you. Anyway, so we got that off. We're going to tear this whole thing down because what we're going to do is we're going to make sure that our Z axes, because we got the dual Z axis, is in good shape and all aligned and all that good stuff. So we're going to be doing that as well. Just so this is not in my way. I probably don't need to, but I'm going to get this out of my way. And this is going to be a longer video. So what we're going to do is speed up bits and pieces of this that you really don't need to see or listen to me talk about. Get that off of there. Get that off of there. Put that in the garbage. All right. And I mean, it was that. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to take off the screen. Take that off of there. I'm going to put you in wide mode so you can see more of what I'm doing because you missed that up there. Let's start unplugging everything because this is all going to be coming out. This, I'm not going to lie, is a scary thought to do this. Totally tear this thing apart, but I think we can do it. I think we have enough cojones that we could do it. I believe in myself. I don't know who else does, but I believe in myself. And yeah, all right. So there's that. So there's a couple screws all the way around. Get this one down here. And like I said, this has to come off because you got to put that other adapter on. All right. Huzzah! That comes out of there. So that we don't lose the screws, let's put them together. Move that off to the side. That's not going to come out easy. Right, nothing else is going to come out easy. Let's take off the Sprite extruder. Yeah, anybody want a Sprite extruder? Let me know. I'd be happy to sell it to you if you need it. All right, so that's done. That's done. This is going to have to come off. So, because we're going to be taking apart this whole thing. So let's just go ahead and pull all this out. Take off that end. Should really clip those and put an adapter in there. Oh, no, that thermostat terminal thing is really loose. Yeah, in there. Ooh, that was way too loose. Yikes. Hey, that's off. You can see where I replaced it. Super. All right, let's not drop this on the floor. All right, so let me take you in a little bit closer here. We have our board all in here. Super duper. And the problem is everything is hot glued. That's from me when I replaced the thermosistor. So all of this wiring needs to come out. Find the best way is to just get a very small screwdriver in there and peel off the hot glue and start at it. I don't want to pry too much because, I don't really want to break anything, especially my fingers. But at the same time, I'm not reusing that board. So I'm going to stick my head in front of you. Let's do this. Let's get all these out. All right, so we got to get this out of there next. They put a serious blob of glue on there. Let's take this stuff out. Black wire or white wire. Come on. Sorry, I gotta get my head in there. I can't see what I'm doing. There is on these things. It's a little barb. They do kind of squeeze together. There it is. That was difficult. All right. Need a little more clipping action down here. There we go. Get all this stuff out of the way. This is my 24 volt, I think, fan. And it's black on top of red. Come on. There we go. All right. Now we are just down to, it looks like these last couple you can't see, but that's a shame. All right. So this is where we're at. We're just working our way through this board, taking stuff off. And to do that, we got to pop off all this hot glue. Yeah, put my head in your way. There's just hot glue on everything. All right. This one, they really... You know what we're going to do? We're going to take out the board and play with it on the outside here. Because there's no reason to be messing with it in there. That was a tiny screw. All right. Did I miss a screw somewhere? I did. One right there. All right. There's another one. Up to 3. 3 going to be the magic charm? Yep, it is. All right, so now we got our motherboard out. You can see we still got stuff hanging on it, so we got to send you down here. This glue has got to come off. And of course, they really I'm being gentle, trying to. Really don't need to, because like I've been saying, I'm not using this board. I don't know if you could see it before, but these have a little barb in the bottom. These, they're going back and forth, and they pop out. Hopefully. This is our X, our Y stepper, our X stepper. And what's left is our power. Power 1, 2, black, red power. I'm sure on the new board, oh, look at this, maybe that wasn't power. More coming in over here. All right. Hey, it's out. Awesome. All right, so we have a 422 Creality board with the GD drivers. Yeah, it's a GD chip. We don't want that. What we're going to put in is the Creality 427 with the STM32 chipset. So I'm going to pause you. I got to take a lot of this out of here because it's redundant and we're not going to be using it. And then I'll bring you back and we'll talk about whatever the next step is. Cool. Thanks for watching that part. And I'll be right back. All right, so I cleaned up the table a little bit, got some stuff out of my way. And I was just going to start, but I wanted to show you, here's the Sprite Pro extruder. I mean, it comes in a very nice little box, very well wrapped. I've cleaned out all of this. I am left with my, I like this, I like Creality does this. My Y, Y? 2 Y's. Why? I don't know. I didn't even notice. Anywho, my Z, my power coming off of the power supply, and then also I had my ribbon for my screen, but because I'm going to go with the Sonic pad, I'm not going to use the screen. So make it a little cleaner. But look at this. Look at this cable. That's really long to begin with, but that is beautiful. That really is. And the only thing you have up top is this plugging into this monster. There goes the cable into this monster right here of a hot end. Just cable comes in, plugs right in there. You have your Sprite extruder, cooling fan, part cooler. Please insert it into the adapter before using. Yeah, okay. That should be obvious, but thank you. I've got to figure out where the where the CR Touch goes. Anyway, so it comes with that. It comes with a new carriage with new wheels. Maybe that's my CR Touch. And some hardware and additional nozzle. So that's cool. So what we need to do is probably remove the rest of these cables, seeing, I don't know. What I'm going to do is I'm going to read the book and I'll be back. I had taken out the X. I thought the X cable needed to come out as well, and it didn't. All you needed to do was take out the hot end stuff and leave the X cable in there. And the X cable is part of, or the X axis is part of this entire cable, and I didn't want to leave it in there because this is coming out, the extruder one. So I just separated the cable, and now I don't have this extra wire hanging around. So if you're doing this, split it and take it out because you don't need it in there anymore. And if you ever want to go back, it's inside a sleeve, so you're not going to see it anyway. So I got that done, and now what I'm working on is getting the carriage installed. It doesn't move on its own, like doesn't just slide. If I adjust the concentric nut just ever so slightly, I get shake in it. So this is just beyond the shake. We're gonna leave that. So the next thing we have to do is get this set up over here, and the part I downloaded and installed, and I'll link it down below. Doesn't really, I don't think it really gives you that many directions. Maybe I didn't look low enough. Here are the two screws. You have to take the end stop out and insert it into the other one. So to do that, it comes right out. Check that out. And let's just look at the difference here. So you could see this is the old one. This is the 3D printed one. It's not the same design. Close. I'm wondering. This has a hole for the wire. This one doesn't. Let's see what happens. As we take this, and I printed the spacer out that goes with it just in case I'm going to need it. Oh no! Let's see here. Let's see. This goes this way. This needs to be this way. Well, where is that thing going to sit? There's no way it's going to sit in there. See in the back of these? I think we got to clip those off. Let's see. Well, I heard that go somewhere. Into the... ether. The first one came off nice, that second one not so much. There we go. You know, while we're at it, take these little nibbies off. Nothing like changing things up, huh? Oh, look at that, it just slides in there. Oh, perfect. Definitely got to cut those things off. Now, as we do this, I'm just going to position that there. I'm going to see if I hear it click. I hear the click. Cool. How does this thing stay in? All right, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go look at the page I downloaded this from. Give me a second. All right, just got done being distracted and going on the website. The off of, I don't know. It's in the link below. You're supposed to cut off the nibs like I did, but not into the solder. You're supposed to leave a little proud, I think, so that it has a tighter fit. Yeah, well, I didn't do that. So mine's just going to sit, I guess, loosely in here. Mine is going to sit loosely in here if it ever goes back in. There it goes. Yeah, see, oh, you know, why didn't I just look at the damn directions? You know, I could just drop a little bit of super glue in there. You know what, maybe I'll just drop a little bit of hot glue in there. Once I know it's in the right place, that's what we're going to do. We're going to drop some hot glue in there. But let's test fit everything and make sure we are good to go. Is that hitting? Light. We need light. Oh, no. Nothing's hitting. Nothing is hitting at all. So, I really wish these things were magnetic. Oh, yeah, they are. Look at that. I really wish these were magnetic. Okay. Oh, so there's something a little bit awry. Oh, maybe it's just... Yeah, no. I do not want to go in. Yeah, definitely got to do the super glue, hot glue thing, because that keeps sliding out. Do not like me. I know you don't like me, printer. I know we've had words in the past. So, why does this housing not want to go in? It looks like, even though he's got little cutouts for these three, something is not sitting correctly. You know, I swear, this printer, it may. So we got one started. Maybe I should have started the bottom one over there. Gotta clean this table off because I got a lot of bits and pieces sitting around. Oh, look at that. Cool. Just got it started. So now, listen for it. Closer. Hey! And let me just make sure that when the carriage hits, yep, it's not hitting this. It's stopping. If it was, there was this piece that you printed out. Cool. Ah, shining my light at you. I don't know what this piece was for. I printed it. I don't know what it's for. Oh, what is this piece for? I have no idea. Moving on. Pro Extruder. This thing's enormous. All right, take that off because why not? All right, you're supposed to take this. This is going to go on there. Where do I plug in though? Where do I plug in the CR Touch? Where does the CR Touch go on this? It goes right there. Okie dokie. All right, let's get out the necessary nuts and bolts. Hey, thanks for the nozzle. I don't know if it's any good, but you know what? We might need it because my other printer has decided that printing after X amount of layers is not something it wants to do anymore. So, super duper. Thanks. I'm going to come over here. I'm going to put this thing in the right orientation. Come in close. Aha! Bingo. Living on the dangerous. And I would look at the instructions, but they're pure garbage. I'm not going to. I'm going to go on a limb and say, this is a very heavy hot end, that we need all 1, 2, 3, 4 bolts. All right, so we got them all started here last night because now this is the next day. Doing this, and I went upstairs and my wife's like, "Who are you talking to down there?" I feel like, Jake from State Farm commercial. I was like, I was trying to make a video. Granted, not very good at it, but trying to make a video for the masses. Just like, I'm not talking to a woman. Relax. Relax. You're the only woman I want to talk to. All right, cool. Look at that thing. It's on there. Sweet. There's an extra bolt. Who the hell knows why? All right, pause. All right, so I went searching why we have 5 bolts because, Creality instructions are the absolute best. And it actually lists 5 hexagon bolts and 3 6s. Perfect. Read through this and take off, put on, mount with 4, which we did, bolts, and then that's it. So they give you 5, they tell you there's 5, but then you don't use the 5th one because why would you? Who knows? Who knows? Oh yeah, we're definitely taking off that cover again because whoops, forgot about that. Well, that's going to be fun. Series. Good look at that. Gosh darn it. Ooh, we got 1 through. Ooh, we're going to get 2 through. We're going to do it. I am not taking that thing back off. I am not going to do it. I am not going to do it. And I'm not going to do it because I got it. All right. You would think while I was upstairs, I would have gone and gotten the hot glue gun that usually sits down here, but no, I didn't. What I forgot to do? Take off the CR Touch. So we are going to make a ton of noise, hopefully not, and take this thing off. By the way, this was one of the best things I added to, not this printer, to my Ender 3 Pro. I'm glad this printer actually came with it. So if you don't have a CR Touch, a BL Touch, or something similar, I suggest it. I really do. All right, let's see. Oh yeah, look at that. What wire is that? Oh, that's the extruder wire. We already talked about that. All right, sweet. Let's get this thing on here and go from there. Tell me that's gonna fit, son of a nutcracker. So these little tiny little bolts. Definitely doesn't go that way, so it better. Oh, yeah, you just gotta press. You need like 5 hands here. The fun part's going to be finding all the correct settings. Oh, CR Touch model, don't drop me. Undo that. Something looking like that. Twist and pray. Hey, it worked. Get this one up in there. This is a long video. Pray that we don't cross thread. Snug that bad boy up. Snug that bad girl up. Just doesn't sound right. Snug them up. Snug them up. Perfect. Sprite Pro hotend, CR Touch, cable. Now, I'm telling you, this is like the best part of this. This looks great. This. I think we got to plug it in first. Might come in this way. Oh, that. Sometimes I would say read the directions, but we've established. I think if you ever want to get it out, you just, oh yeah, just like motherboard memory. All right, cool. You're going to want to slide in there. Are you going to want to slide in there for me? Oh, I will say it looks much nicer. I kind of wish this was here or something hanging off the back there. Wait, son of a gun. Is that what this is for? Well, that definitely fits on there. Don't know what it's for. Well, that goes on there, the 3D printed optional part. I just don't know where it goes, because you want to have it flexible enough to reach all the way to the end. Right? Further investigation to come, I suppose. All right, so where are we at? Installed, new carriage, printed, installed. Got to hot glue that in, cable in. Oh, this must go. Well, obviously it goes in the C-arc. So, hiding over here on this side in the back is the hookup for the CR Touch. Not over there. I don't know what that is because it doesn't say. This is not going to be easy. Widen the camera. There we go. This is not going to be easy to get because there's wires in the way. Let's just not mess around. I know, we just put it on. Yay us. Bad for me. Good for you. This is the CR Touch that. And hiding over here is our CR Touch, but you can see these red and black wires that go for the fan are in the way. Why won't you go in, damn it? There it goes. One, two. What is this one for? No idea. Looks like a fan connector, to be honest. Ba-da-ba. Alright, well, that's there. While we're here, let's get it connected over here. I will say, this is proving frustrating. I don't know what's going on over here. I really don't. I'm going to get my other old one, which is hiding over here, and see what I'm doing now. With this. Also doesn't want to go in very easily. But I'm not an idiot. It was a lot more difficult than it needed to be. Alright, let's get this thing back together. Let's try and... Oh my gosh, something that worked. So I would highly suggest that you attach the CR Touch cables in the CR Touch before putting the hot end on. Go ahead, put this back together. I'm going to put in the 4. So now, CR Touch installed, hot end installed, CR Touch hopefully connected. Next thing we need to do is take these off. And of course, it's always a different Allen key. And then we need to go get the hot glue gun. Okay, here we go. Don't want this glue to be super hot. I'm going to put a little, just a little. Really, that's it. That's all I'm going to do. I don't know if you saw that. Get that right there. I'm going to mess it up by touching it. All right, let's let that dry and see, and hopefully it holds it in. And we'll go from there. Cool. All right, so running into a wee bit of a problem here. Got the CR Touch installed, and now when I come this way, it bottoms out on the housing. Even worse, when you put the cable in, it doesn't get past this. So, yeah, I gotta take this off, undo my hot glue, and put the spacer in. This thing hates me. Okay, so we got the spacer in there. I gotta find the light because you're not gonna be able to see it. Anyway, you can just, oh yeah, see in the back of the board there's a little spacer. Put that in. Did a little dab of hot glue, and try and do this one-handed. Get that in. It's getting it. This wire is still... Wow, there's got to be a better way to run that. Maybe down. All right, we're going to look into that. Okay, so now put in... Actually just ran the cable and I tucked it behind this plate right here. And now, when it comes in, it doesn't hit. Now the only problem is going to be this cable is going to hit. So let me get that on. All right, so I got the cable on up here. Now what you're gonna see what I mean when it comes this way. trying to pull out here, trying to do this two-handed. See, it hits right back. It's hitting this bracket. I think if we can get this high enough. Yeah, see, it's just stopping it. It's got to be like way up here. Oh. All right, so here's our current problem. We got everything installed. We got the CR Touch wire that was in the way hidden. We got the spacer in. The cable, when it comes this way, it bumps into this upright and stops the carriage from going that way. If you can get it up high, no problem. So we got to either take this out and go over the top, which I don't want to do, or just put a zip tie up here to hold it. That'd be the easiest way. Or create, I don't know, a bracket up here to hold it. Probably zip tie is going to be our easiest route. So, okay, so after a lot of work, we finally got the Sprite Pro extruder installed. We had to do some modifications to the X stop switch in here, the X axis end stop. Remember previously there was a little spacer I put in to move that little board out. I ended up having to take that out and then move my end stop over that way just a little bit, and then I hot glued it in place just so that my extruder could get to the edge of my bed. I'm trying to print on the full 235, which is the edge. You can see that second line is the 230 and the 220 on the inside, which is what I think it's normally set to. So I had to do that as a modification. I got the wires all set. Also, I had to edit the firmware because if you look over here, originally the middle of the nozzle was down here. So I had to really work on it and learn and understand X min, Y min, the max values as well. And after adjusting those, I was able to get this when I put in the coordinates 117.5 by 117.5 to get my nozzle in the middle of the bed. To me, that was super important so that I can maximize what I'm doing. Let's talk really quickly about the Sprite Pro extruder that I've never seen anybody talk about, and I think it's kind of really important. First, my Sprite Pro, as you can see, is not level. It's tilting like that way, and I don't see anywhere to adjust that because my carriage is tight. My nuts over here are tight, so I don't really know. But that's not the biggest issue. The biggest issue is the placement of the CR Touch. The CR Touch on the stock hot end sits over here on the side, but here it sits forward. Why is that a problem? Well, when you extend the bed all the way forward, like that, in order to create your mesh when it goes through the bed leveling, it can only get this far back. It doesn't get this piece, which is about 45 millimeters of bed. You lose when you go to level. Also, when you go to, if I'm using the MRISCO C firmware, these dots are the tramming points, and you can see they're more towards the middle. So I think that's a disadvantage. I really like the CR Touch to be on the side over here, where you can get a mesh for the entire bed, not just this. Where's that going to matter? It's going to matter when I go to print something that takes up the entire bed. So we got to look into that, but for now, it is what it is. So we got this dialed in the firmware. We have the custom firmware installed. Now we gotta just tram it for the corners and level it and see if it prints. So that's what we're gonna do now. All right, so we're going to go ahead and we're going to tram the bed using the Mrisco C firmware. To do that, just spin your dial until it gets down to Tramming Wizard and you hit go. I will say, the problem with this is that it's loud. All right, you can see our numbers there. So it wants us to raise the right front. So to raise it, you would spin clockwise to loosen it up. I'm going to do both because I know they were both off. And then we're just going to do it again. And we're going to keep doing this until we get a number that we're comfortable with. So I'll let you watch this one and then I'll continue to play with it. So you can see we still have some work to do. So I'm going to hit the pause. All right, so we're going to run this one more time. Tramming Wizard. We should be good. 2, -2, or 1, -2, and cool. So we did the Tramming Wizard. As you saw, it's really inset quite a bit due to the location of the probe. It is what it is. So we're just going to hit continue. And now I want to run a bed mesh. So let's do our bed mesh. And I'm going to let you watch this one and see how it goes. It's actually going to heat up and do all that. So I'm going to hit the pause button and come back. All right, so our bed heated up to 50. And you can see it go here. I haven't set my Z offset yet. That's going to be next. I just kind of wanted to run this and see what it looks like. As you can see, it's building its way out. And all done. Cool. So now that that's done, we'll definitely want to save that. Probably going to have to come back and redo it once I'm going to put my spool up there in hopes. All right, so let's see here. Let's do our Z Probe Wizard. You're going to auto home. And then we're going to move to, I got to find a piece of paper. All right, let's move to our Z home. And now using the old paper method, I am going to set my Z probe offset. I know I got to come down a bunch here. It's got to be under 5, I'm sure. Oh, maybe not that much under 5. All right. Got a little grab. A little more. We're going to go with, I think we're going to go with that. And we'll do one more. All right. So that's our Z probe offset. We're going to go back. We're going to go back and we're going to store that. Oh yeah, store. Cool. Now our settings are stored. So I'm going to hit the pause button, get some stuff set up, and come on back. The one thing I almost neglected to do was to change my E-steps from the Bowden tube to the Sprite Pro. And I believe it is something like 494? No, 424.9. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to jack this all the way up to 424.9. 0.9. Can't forget to do that. I have black filament. I think I'm gonna hit the pause. All right, so we've gone ahead and we've switched off to white, and we're gonna try and load this up and get our E steps accomplished first. So, push, boom. Look at that. That was nice and easy for once. All right, so let's go ahead and let's move our axis away from the Z. Oh, almost hit that. I like that you can do on here live movement or set it and then click it and it will move. That way you don't go crashing into the bed by accident. All right, so while that's moving, we do need to heat up our hot end in order to um, can't think, run our E steps here. So let's get this hot end temp going up to 200. And we shut down. Why did we shut down? What happened? Huh. Well, that's interesting. Let's try that again. Why would why would setting that make it crash? All right, so figured out what was happening. My heater cables were reversed. I had the negative and the positive and the negative, so I opened up the motherboard and I reversed them. Then I was heating it up. Put this back where it was. I was heating it up and I was getting fails. I didn't know why, so I took it off. I was like, wait a minute. They shoved this cable in here. This has got to go right there. Yeah, well, you can kind of see the screen here. I'll give it a little turn. All right, we go to control, temperature, hot end, put it up to 200. And somewhere around 200. And what was happening was this number, there it goes, and now it's going up in temperature. That was my problem. It would sound an awful sound, like something was the matter, and an alarm, waking up everybody in the house, and that kind of good stuff. But anyway, we got it. It's going one kink at a time. We're getting it. We're going to let this heat up. We're going to push some filament through. Then we're going to, I guess, retram it, re-level it, put a file on and print it, and see what happens. Cool. Get out there.